Good morning. Deeper Bible study is not difficult. It's simply reading the Bible and trying to understand it. So we can start in Genesis chapter 3 in paradise, a nice place to start. Eve lived in paradise with everything she needed, a good home, plenty of food, a happy life with a purpose to cultivate paradise and fill the earth. There was only one law that she had to worry about, and that was that Eve was not to eat from the tree in the middle of the garden, and if she did, she would die. So far, so good, but something went wrong.
So we all know the story. The serpent came along. He feigned surprise that Eve wasn't allowed to eat from this fruit. When she confirmed what the law was, he told a barefaced lie. He said, God has withheld something from you. If you eat from this tree, you will not die. So she ate the fruit. Now, later, when she was before God, answering for what she had done, she claimed she had been deceived, and yet the punishment was still severe. Why? If she had been deceived, was it her fault? Well, several things went wrong here. 3 things I can think of. I'm sure you'll think of more. First of all, she didn't know God. Secondly, she didn't love him enough. And thirdly, she had no respect for law. We might look at these 3. When the serpent told her that she wouldn't die, she had a choice. She could think to herself, either God is telling a lie or the serpent is telling a lie. And she could have gone to ask. She didn't know God well enough to know that he couldn't tell a lie. And even worse, she didn't love her father enough. He had provided her with so much, a wonderful life, and yet she had no appreciation for it whatsoever. She could, out of loyalty to her father, said to the serpent, I don't want any more than I have at the moment. God has given me everything. I love him for doing that. I'll go and discuss it with him and see what he has to say. No, she didn't do that either. And thirdly, she had no respect for law. The law was she was not to touch this tree, and yet she did. So here is where we need to know God better, much better than Eve did.
Isaiah 55 verses 8 to 11. God says, For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Then he gives an illustration. The rain descends, it swells the grain, it produces fruit. So the rain didn't come for nothing. God says, So shall my word be that goes forth out of my mouth. It shall not return to me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing I sent it to do.
So what was God's purpose when he created this earth and put Adam and Eve in that garden? Well, Isaiah 45 verse 11 can help us here. For thus says Yahweh, who created the heavens, the God who formed the earth and made it, who established it and did not create it a waste, who formed it to be inhabited. God spent millions of years creating this beautiful planet. His purpose for this earth was for it to be inhabited by good, righteous people who appreciated what they'd been given. Was he going to allow 2 disobedient humans to stop his purpose? No, his thoughts are higher than ours. He's going to accomplish his purpose. But the question is how? Because he told Adam and Eve that they were going to die. How was it going to be inhabited? Well, here is the beginning of what the Apostle Paul calls the sacred mystery. And it starts in Genesis 3 verse 15. Very cryptic. God speaks to the serpent and he says, I shall put enmity between you and the woman, between your seed and her seed. He shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. Now we know who the serpent is, and the seed are those that follow him. Who the woman is a huge subject all of its own, but it's possible that Eve believed she was the woman, and in a way she was. In Genesis 4 and verse 25, it says that Eve bore a son and named him Seth, and she said, "For God has appointed another seed for me instead of Abel, whom Cain killed." Now we know that Seth was the forefather of Noah, who was the forefather of Abraham, who was the forefather of Jesus Christ, who was the one who was to destroy the works of the devil. But this mystery was going to be revealed slowly over the next centuries. So we might follow this as God reveals it and see what his wonderful purpose was and how he was going to accomplish it. Thank you so much for watching this morning. Take care and God bless.